It's too bad a couple more CEOs didn't get like,
Raises.
I know they probably did get that.
Yeah, they're like, your life's more dangerous now. We're giving you a raise.
They're like -1. We'll just distribute the wealth to
Dirt,
us.
dirt, dirt. Another one bites the dust. Dirt, dirt.
Yeah, man. Oh, I got like a tickle in my nose.
Who'd have thought a tickle would fit in there?
Fucking from doing the boogie shoogie. Just doing hard lines.
Like Mel Gibson on freaking Joe Rogan.
Oh, did he?
Oh my god. We were watching it. Um and he was just all over the place, you know what I mean? And Brooke and I
Mm-hmm.
are watching it, and I'm like, in exactly whatever time it was, he's gonna crash. Like
Yeah.
we were getting up to it because it was like 3 hours long, and I'm like, in about 20 minutes, he's gonna crash. Not joking. At the 20-minute mark, he's like, I need to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then so it pauses. They come back, and he's just like back at it again. And he's like, it's so thirsty in here. And you can see him looking at his empty cup, and he's just like, where's the water?
Like shit. I've
Yeah.
I've hard lined for too long.
Yeah, he was all
That's
over the
funny.
place. He was saying some healer like had him levitating against a wall and shit. I mean, there was a lot going on in that podcast.
Good.
Anyway, speaking of podcasts, welcome back.
Right.
Big Sleep
Do ours.
Podcast, episode 11, right? 11?
11, yeah.
11. All
It's like the
right.
DLC. You never knew you
Plus
wanted.
one.
Yeah.
Uh, Nick did a bunch of shorts.
Oh
So,
yeah. I forgot about that.
he's actually putting in a little effort now. I'm not
I'm a
staying up.
contributing member. Kind of a
Yeah.
big deal.
I don't even care if it's from your cell phone. I mean, it's a win.
I don't think the cell phone ones look that bad, honestly. I mean, they don't look good, but
No, I mean, they're good for shorts. I mean, the shorts take a long time to edit for the camera angle changes and stuff like that because we don't record separate video tracks.
yeah.
So we have to do it in post, and I have to crop out the logo and all that stuff. So, uh, maybe someday looking for an editor so that I don't have to do this anymore.
There you go. Speaking of things, like I was dealing with like some of that copyright stuff and when you play a game, sometimes it's got freaking background music, right? And like every time the song changes can be a different like copyright strike. And not even a strike, but just like a copyright notice. And then you can't create shorts if you have that. And so like, yeah, if you play a game for a couple hours, like you can have 5 to 10 different little copyright notices and you have to dispute them individually.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
And
hot.
like they can just decline it. Like like yeah. Either way, I have appealed one and they've already been like, uh-uh.
Well, and 90% of that stuff is automated anyway. But uh, in other news, I got us an Instagram,
Nice.
but it won't let me upload shit from the PC.
Oh. I mean, what would we upload to an Instagram?
Our shorts and like
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
photos, just like behind the scenes photos or photos from stories uh, when we tell them.
That makes sense. Yeah, I guess yeah, the photo of you dropping the bags.
Yeah.
I still need
Yeah.
to make that short. Um, can you just like YouTube to like I don't know, MP4 or whatever the other ones?
I mean, I guess it's not, you know, pirating if it's our own.
It's your own stuff. Yeah.
You can
I don't really
actually
get that just
just
extra
download.
quality. Oh, really?
Yeah, I
If
think
it's
you can
yours,
download your own videos right off of YouTube.
that would make sense.
We also, another thing, we need to download the shorts and put them in that share drive so that we have the copies.
Mm. But yeah, I didn't realize you were keeping a lot of that content along the way.
I have every episode raw footage and edited.
Dang, dude, like ODB.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, baby, I like it raw.
So what topics you got today? How's the ice raids been in your neck of the woods?
Ice raids. I'm not at liberty to. uh, no, I haven't seen anything. I mean, I assume that you would see those guys a little bit more than me.
Yeah.
The military put out that they're knocking down all EO policies and drawback and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But honestly, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I've had a
That's
few
all public
people
rules.
see a lot of this stuff is just getting thrown around and none of it makes sense. I know the big story of ICE going into the school and grabbing someone.
Yeah,
Like all these news organizations came out and were making this big deal about it, and then within like an hour they're like, oh yeah, it wasn't ICE. And it's like, yeah, so maybe slow down on what you're spewing out on national television.
right.
Like there's people streaming about it and stuff like that, and it's like that's not at all what happened. It was the Secret Service got a tip for a major threat. They went to the dude's house. Someone at that house said, oh, he's at this school right now. And so the Secret Service went and got him. Has nothing to do
Yeah,
with immigration, has nothing to do with ICE. Like,
I
but
don't
we'll
know.
just
I mean,
brush over that.
you know how it is though. Like all that stuff's gonna be associated with ICE
Well,
right
and
now.
Vance said in his interview, they're going to be going to schools, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, if someone commits a heinous crime, are you saying if we know they're there, we shouldn't go in and get them? Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I think it's so weird that I think like one of the Lincoln, Nebraska public schools said that they're essentially not going to partake in releasing any personal information or partake in any like pretty much any part of it. And it's just like that's weird. And then I want to say the governor signed something saying that
State
essentially everyone.
entities. State, yeah, he signed saying that state entities have to comply, which there's already one for feds too.
Right.
My thing is again with the school stuff and blah blah blah. And how many memes do you see or people making these long posts that are like, well, hope you're happy that no one's going to be picking the crops for $5 an hour and cleaning your house and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm like, do you not hear the absolute irony in that statement? So you're saying it's cool, like that's what they do is they pick crops for $5 an hour and clean your
Yeah.
house and take out your trash. Like that's
Yeah.
that statement in
I hope
itself.
you're happy that we don't have slavery.
Essentially, yes.
Like, yeah.
Like
I mean, even though the quality of life here is probably drastically better from wherever they came from.
for
Like,
sure, but it's like, okay, the quality of life is better, but you're advocating for like workplace
yeah.
inequality. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's better for them to be deported, but I am saying it's better that they not work for these companies that are
Yeah.
taking advantage of their legal status.
I agree.
You know, that's not good for anyone. Uh, some chick on The View said that, like, who's gonna clean your toilets and who's gonna whatever, and the girl's like, like immediately was like,
Wrong direction.
yeah. Um,
That's funny.
but and the other thing too, I've talked to um ICE agents, and they are very forthright in saying like we have a list of a hierarchy of these individuals, right?
For merit.
Yeah, like if they have sexual assault of a minor, that puts them like tier 1, sexual assault tier 2, domestic battery tier 3, whatever, and it goes down the list. Well, there's tens of thousands of people on these A tier lists, and that's
Yeah.
going to take a long time for them to track these people down. They're not interested at all at this point in anything like
Yeah.
not violent. The most, and I don't even say this is not dangerous because it kills thousands of people a year, but like DUIs, like we had one where a guy had like 3 DUIs that were double the legal limit, aggravated, and he got taken, which I don't see a problem with that either. Society is a victim, you know. It's like,
It's like Grand Theft Auto.
yeah,
Like they're taking the dudes with 5 stars first.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good analogy. And then they're working
Yeah.
their way down the stars or whatever. But I mean, they're not interested in people that don't have licenses that are just caught driving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but they want lists. I mean, if someone gets caught doing something or they go through jail or something like that, they want to know who's in and out of the jail that's not a citizen and blah blah blah. So, um,
Uh, I didn't hear anything about the cartel this morning, like popping shots at the feds.
yeah, I saw the headliner. I didn't really look into it that much, but yeah, there was some type of standoff. But I also want to say that's not. I don't want to say it's common, but it's not uncommon. I mean,
Yeah.
there's been several instances where, yeah, yeah. There's been several instances where there's been kind of like rando shots from a mile away, like mile or two away towards the border. So I don't know. I don't think that's anything that crazy.
Just
But
another reason for us to eventually put the ban hammer on them.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Mexico's going to be sanctioned eventually. Like their economy is obviously not, A grade already. But
Yeah.
if there's monetary sanctions and trade sanctions on them, it's going to hurt worse if they don't figure out this, crime infested organizations.
Yeah. What worries me is like if you sanction or like tariff someone too hard, then like they can obviously just like change sides.
I mean,
And
ask Colombia.
yeah, they could just seek support elsewhere.
Yeah, I think that goes for anybody though. I mean,
It's like a balance.
the problem is like what side do you want to be on? Because the support that you're getting, if you're not on the side of U.S./NATO, you're, I mean, historically speaking, you're probably not going to have a good time if things escalate, especially with the
Straight up.
support that you're seeking if they're kind of warmongers and stuff like that.
I don't know. China's GDP is pretty big, pretty large right now.
Yeah,
They got a lot of people. Speaking of China, I'm gonna completely derail us now.
that's good.
Let's talk about the topic that you know the most about. Nvidia versus what's the new AI called? Speak speak something?
Oh, yeah, the Chinese company.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely affected Nvidia stock prices.
I was about to say that like it was like one of the largest drops. Is that what I
Yeah.
heard?
Well, a lot of people.
Deep
Here's the deal.
Seek.
Yeah, here's the deal. The tech industry and ETFs that are focused on like Silicon Valley
Mm-hmm.
I feel have been approaching a correction for a long time, especially Nvidia. I mean, Nvidia's been on the up and up for months in a row, and there has not been a big, bearish
competitor.
market to kind of level that out, similar to our housing economy, for example. So I think that's gonna correct. A lot of people are divesting in general in technology space. A major like ETF for that or portfolio is QQQ. That's another one. That's just a lot of that stuff is being divested. Um, but I think that's also tied to, I think there's going to be a pretty decent dip in the stock market this year. And I called this months ago. I don't know if you remember me talking about it, but like Warren Buffett selling millions and millions of shares and stockpiling cash. And a lot of these major companies are stockpiling cash. And I think that's what's going to happen. They need to correct the market and help their dollar cost average by letting that thing decline and then rebuying with the cash that they've been holding on to.
I think that I mean Trump's gonna get blamed for, the worst economy or the worst stock prices and, you know, or the biggest decline in stock prices in American history or however they want to spell it out.
Yeah,
But I think this was to be expected. Like we've been dealing with straight up inflation for how long? Like things need to kind of tank and or at least chill out just a little bit. Like I expect everything to go down before it evens out.
for sure. Like my crypto portfolio this week is down almost 14%.
Yeah. Should have bought that Trump coin
Nah, that thing tanked hard.
or Melania.
But I don't know. I think there's like Intel has been on the downward spiral for a while now, 13% on a 3 month. And I could see, I mean, in a year, Intel's down 55%. But I feel like that's another one where Qualcomm is probably going to come in and snatch them up. AI, that they're another one that's going to be affected by that Chinese company as well. Um, but I think it's good. I think that's going to give competition, and I think Nvidia is always kind of like a year and a half or so behind what they actually have capable.
Yeah,
So they'll just
absolutely.
start dumping stuff out now.
I think the problem is like ultimately like a lot of the components are still made in China and like if it is then eventually they'll just do the Zotac treatment where it's like 4090 Zotac, like off-brand Chinese. Um
Zotac's great.
but the Zotac's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Lian Li like
yeah.
is now like one of the best cases you could buy for
That's
PC.
that's what I have.
Yeah. Um I I was explaining to someone today though that like the difference is like Nvidia has been making not just AI, but like graphics drivers and like supporting graphics cards. And they have their hand in like so many other different like graphics models that like DeepSeek doesn't stand a chance. Like Nvidia just released what DLSS 4 like 2 days ago, and it's saying that it's increasing frame rates by like upwards of 50% on 4K. Like that's insanity.
With AI, yeah.
Yeah.
And I hear the argument like, oh, they're fake frames or whatever. Well, I mean, even portions of rasterization frames are fake frames, or any black frame generation is fake
Yeah.
frames. But smooth gameplay is smooth gameplay. It doesn't really matter how you achieve it.
People weren't complaining about fake frames whenever, like, remember when TVs had that really weird motion? I know me and you watched my old 1080p TV like some decade ago, and it just has that like, excuse me, that really like over the top fake like frame injected
Smoothing,
motion. Yeah, it
yeah,
makes it look like a soap opera.
yeah. I mean, first thing you should turn off on every new TV you get.
Yeah.
Sony was really bad with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like their smooth motion 240 or whatever, and it would fake
Yeah.
make it higher refresh even though it wasn't.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this Blackwell chip is powerful, and that's another good point. Is like they already have a Blackwell chip that is much better than what they just released in the 5090.
Yeah,
So it wouldn't surprise me if
the
they have.
8100.
Yeah, yeah. And if they release another card and make it a 5090 Super Ti or Ti Super or whatever, I mean, that's the one that's going to blow the other ones out of the water. But I mean, 30% increase on the 5090 with almost a 30% price increase. I don't I don't see where the hatred is coming from. I mean, you're not like losing dollar value, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
We already know that anything that is it DeepSeek? Is that what I said? Anything
yeah.
that DeepSeek is doing correctly, NVIDIA is just going to absolutely copy it. And I think that one like are two things that they're doing correctly. And the first one like kind of plays into the second one is uh like the size of DeepSeek. Like you can fit it on like mobile devices, and you can fit it like it's like compartmentalized in such a fashion that it doesn't require um like a huge server stack and like a bunch of like craziness to achieve the same results as like other AIs, and it's offline. Like you can run it local.
Yeah. But Nvidia announced pretty much the same thing, a little AI box stack, and you can
Yeah,
get up to 3 of them, and one can be for an LLM, one can be for like phone home, but you can phone home to your local server.
yeah,
Um all open source. I mean, they're going to have an answer for everything, I think.
yeah.
Even if they're behind the curve on some of them, they're going to be able to keep up. So, I don't foresee that being a huge issue. And if anything, again, competition sparks innovation.
I hope that AI starts replacing some of the jobs, like a lot of jobs.
Then who's going to pick your produce?
That's what I'm saying.
I already saw a video like of the comment like who's going to pick your crops for $5 an hour, and it's just like a montage with like hardcore music of like machinery, farm machinery.
Yeah, yeah. Made in America farm machinery. I don't know. John Deere's kind of
They flip flop
proprietary.
quick too, though. I mean, they were gonna go to what, Mexico, and
Yeah,
then next thing you know, we're staying.
but yeah,
Oh, you're threatening us? We're staying. It works. That's all I'm saying. Our economy was based on that in the
yeah.
founding years. I mean, that's how we made money. So I don't know why it wouldn't work now, especially when we have more economical power than we did then.
Well, then we kidnapped all those Nazis and to boost our technology numbers.
Yeah.
We were like, America, we don't have enough points to put stats in technology, so we'll just
Hey, war
kidnap Nazis.
criminal.
Yeah. Speaking of Nazis, have you been on Reddit lately?
No.
No?
I,
Are
I
you're not an avid Redditor, are you?
well, I used Reddit for like my home lab stuff. So
Yeah.
I'd get on and like answer questions about if people didn't understand the new TrueNAS update or something, or Proxmox. Like, hey, how do you
Mhm.
get this on Proxmox? And I would go in there and give like little guides. But outside of that, you know,
I'm glad
big
that
titty
like
goth.
yeah, I have a second account for that.
Like that.
Uh
What else is Reddit? I don't know.
yeah, incognito. Uh I'm glad that like when Reddit really first got big, that like all those forums, you remember the internet used to just be like 90 different forums that you had to have passwords for and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was
And
like
like now it's just like
PHPBB.
it's now it's just all Reddit. Um, but like they got weird after that election. I mean, they were weird before. Like it's always been like relatively liberal, but after this election, man, it's crazy. Like unless you're in very specific subreddits, you are a Nazi fascist. Like
Yeah,
essentially, if you aren't even far, if you're not far left, you are a Nazi fascist.
which is ironic because I feel like Reddit wasn't that way. I feel like it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, they used to love
3D,
Elon Musk. They
yeah,
did too. Like,
all of that
and
stuff
now they just
changed.
hate him.
Like even the military related subreddits are
Yeah.
vastly different. Like,
Oh
oh, you
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
conform. Like, if you're not a bootlicker,
Yeah.
it's like, fuck you. There's no place for you in the military, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, sorry for free thinking, my dog.
Yeah. There's been a lot of transgender posts lately, and it's just like I'm just watching. I'm lurking.
Yeah. I don't know. It gets views. That's what it is. Controversy is popular.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's the interest of the world right now, which is fine. Whatever. America's a
I
little
was
kid
actually,
going through phases.
yeah. I was thinking of this today, where everyone's like, "Oh, the news is bought out," or fake news. Uh,
It's really
but like,
fake.
like, how could it be fake when these freaking idiots are absolutely creating kraut?
Oh, hi.
Clout for this Chinese company. Like they're the ones that caused the stock prices to act up.
Yeah.
Like no one would have known the wiser if they didn't talk about DeepSeek every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different angles that they attack some of these stories, and it becomes so obscure that it's
Yeah.
impossible to formulate what's actually going on. I mean, TikTok was a prime example of that. It's like
Oh yeah.
all of this non-factual information just being strewn about, especially if you're watching like the interviews and stuff. Some of the questions that they're asking, it's just like, you don't have a fucking idea in hell on how anything works. If I plug in my headphones to my phone and I'm on TikTok, can TikTok read my brainwaves? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
Yeah, like, get the
It
fuck
turns
out of
my
here.
call. Yeah.
Shit drives
I
me
would just
nuts.
say yes to shit like that, man. That's why I can't be in politics, because like I would just be goofing all the time.
Yeah. God, I was
People be
talking to
like, "Can
someone,
you confirm aliens?" Be like, "Yes."
nothing further.
Next question. Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day just about, oh, Brooke was talking about someone she was speaking with, and it was like four different arguments. She's just sitting there. She's not very aware of current events and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so she just sits there and listens, you know what I mean? And someone
Okay.
was telling her like four different stories, and each story that she told me, I'd be like, "No, that's not what happened. Here's what happened." And then
Yeah.
she'd tell me the other one, same thing. And she's like, "Yeah, I figured," but I'm like, that's the problem with media and kind of the sheep mentality today, is the people who don't know this stuff. And she's a prime example of this. Like, you just hear it from someone else and you're like, wow, that's crazy that that's going on. And you have no other mode of working through whether or not that's accurate or not. You're just someone saying it,
Yeah.
someone that you know.
Can
It's
you
like, that's
imagine what it was
dangerous.
like before, like the internet
Yeah,
or
I mean,
like
it's a
even
double
the
edged sword. But I don't know. I just can't handle that stuff. Like, all of this stuff going on. the birthright thing, and it's like, okay, birthright, nothing's it's just reading the amendment, and it says like, and under the jurisdiction thereof, and it even gives exemptions to that, like foreign embassy, blah blah blah, kids of visiting nations, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like never once has it referred to anyone and their dog that's here, you know. And again, we're like one of the only countries that's just like, yep, sure. Even though there's an exemption that says foreign or alien or not under the jurisdiction.
Yeah, I don't know. I get conflicted. Like I've said before, like we're a country founded on immigration. So I do think that's a key component. But and I think that the US does not have a good process
Right.
for
And I don't
legalizing
think anybody's
immigration.
arguing that. Like, yes, we were founded on immigration. JD Vance said it pretty well. Doesn't mean that we have to have the dumbest immigration policy
Yeah.
in human history.
It's- oh yeah.
Like, we're an established
Worse than
nation, and we have to protect our own citizens, our own economy, and our own infrastructure. Well, we can't
yeah.
do that if it's just, hey, welcome in. There's a process. And all these people
Yeah.
complaining, like, well, it takes 10 years to become a citizen and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, but that's because our process is so broken and we're letting all these people in. It's making the process for people doing it the right way much harder. Hence why
Yeah.
you're getting all these complaints from the people who went through the legal process that
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
also on board with this deportation thing. It's like,
Yeah.
why did I have to go through this? And I did it the right way. And everybody else doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah. That's been my experience too. Is like legal citizens uh that are people citizens that came over here and then got legalization either via the military or other means. Like they're not pleased about it.
Yeah. Well, and there's videos out there now of people going to Canada, right? That's been a big movement. People are going to the
Right.
Canadian border, and the border patrol there are like, "Hey, it sounds like you're saying you're coming over here and you're going to be looking for work and stuff like that." And they're like, "That's admirable, but that's not how our immigration policy works. You can't just
Yeah.
come to Canada and live here and someday, you know, try to get a job. Like, you have to come here with a work visa and work for the place that's sponsoring you." And it's like, weird. The exact policy that we should have.
We just hot potato all these Mexicans to Canada. Uh
I mean, they're going to have the
yeah.
same policy. That's the thing is, let's say people came from the southern border to America and now they want to go to Canada. How much easier is it going to be for them to get into Canada? Not. It was easier for them to get into America, to the
Yeah.
US, than it would be. Canada's not going to accept them either.
And yeah, Canada puts their nose up at us too, though. Like not accepting refugees all the
Yeah.
time, and yeah, not opening our border essentially.
Yeah, they have a whole crime syndicate of schools that are accepting overseas transferees and then sending them through America through their border. That's odd.
And they're just Canadian, which has gotta. I
Get
don't even
out
care if
of
they're
our
malicious.
business.
It's just there goes our whole Canadian viewership.
Darn.
Yeah. Well. What do you think about like starting up a Reddit, so a subreddit where people could post like reaction video, so that way it's like in order and we can know when we're caught up and all that stuff. Either that or a Discord. I was talking to a mutual acquaintance of ours about it today, and he was like, "Yeah, maybe a Discord too."
I would say I would pick Discord over Reddit,
Yeah,
probably, because that's going to be a little bit more less of a
what I like
hassle
about
to.
Reddit is that it's open. You can have like an open Reddit that people just join. They don't really need permissions. Whereas Discord, pretty sure you have to like find it and then join it.
Yeah, but you could make it no password,
Yeah,
like public. Like my Discord that I have is public. Anybody can search and join.
and maybe Discord's the better one.
It'd be a little easier because we can post, full length video, all that stuff.
Yeah, I think that would be where it's at, where people could be like, watch this, and then maybe we can add on to this. Where if it's not specifically in the podcast, we do like reaction content.
Yeah.
Like that freaking video you sent me of the girls doing, was it gymnastics or dance, and then they turned into the 9/11 remembrance.
Where'd that come from?
I want to see our initial reaction to that, but
Yeah.
like in real time.
Ugh. Yeah, I sent that. I put that video on blast. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
I think that's hilarious.
That was definitely done by people who did not live through 9/11. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is a historical event. And it's like,
This is a good idea.
yo, most of the people on Earth were alive. This isn't
Yeah.
the Kennedy assassination.
Did you see any of that stuff? I haven't read up on any of that either, like the released files.
Yeah, I signed an
They're
order
more
that's going to
redacted.
declassify it, but like I was saying, I'm ready to see the blacked out.
The redacted version.
Yeah, it's just going to be a big redacted thing, like the of
Yeah.
Kennedy.
Yep.
Nothing else is going to be in there.
That's about what I expect too.
Did you see that Trump did say the whole Jersey drone things?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What'd he say?
He's like, yep,
China.
all of those were FAA approved flights and hobbyists.
Really?
Yep. All of those flight paths were pre-approved FAA for some type of training or research, whatever.
Interesting.
He said it's not the enemy.
With a wave of a hand.
After
Hey,
a pat
you
on
notice
the
that
heart.
Everyone quit talking about that SF dude and the New Orleans guy.
Yeah. It's old news now, man. They
Just
covered
like
up
that.
whatever story needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to a couple people that are like regarding the SF dude, like people that have just like way too much faith in like special forces, and they're like, he's still alive, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, there's kind of a romanticizing of special operations and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Just want to be like, there's no amount of steroids that saves you from
Yeah.
a 45 round, or well, no, it's a 50 cal. Like
You can't
to the
be,
dome.
even if you're deeply closeted.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we're half retarded. So
Yeah.
you fix that face right away. Look, you're about to go into it and you're like, maybe not.
Right. Yeah. Canceled.
Oopsie.
Yeah. And I've got depression.
I just dunked my balls in some Thousand Island dressing because I got depression.
What have you been playing lately?
Well, the kiddo and I moved her gaming PC setup right here in the office. So we've been playing Power Worlds, Minecraft, Terraria, that type of stuff. And then I started playing like Big Ambitions again, which is like a
I don't know what that is.
sandbox RPG business simulator. Like you buy
Yes.
properties and outfit them and hire employees and whatever. But I'm really trying to get people on board with like a
If you say
shooter.
Star Citizen and I just leave,
Yeah, I've given up on that. You guys won't do shit with that. Still think that would be super fun, but
you know what I'm gonna do? Like one of these days, I'm gonna wait till you're like out of town or busy or something, and then I'm gonna buy it and then like play like 2 hours of it, and then like tell you I returned it.
CIG would never let you return anything.
Yeah,
Like it's our money now.
yeah,
But even like Arma Reforger, you know, buy the game. There's like 50,000 different mods and game types and whatever.
yeah,
Or Gray Zone Warfare. I think that would be fun for like a group of 3 or 4 people.
yeah. Yeah, I saw that you played it before. I don't think you didn't give it like a stellar review though.
Yeah, when it first came out, because I was one of the early access guys,
Yeah,
and their AI was shit. Um, their rubber banding for their networking was shit. Like,
hmm.
but
Like
they
NPCs
have
had bad pathing or what?
the AI had their reaction was all over the place. It's like they could either headshot you from 800 meters away through a wood line,
Yeah.
or you could walk right up to them in the face and they'd stand there for a minute not knowing what to do. So you could dome them like immediately.
Well, hold up. Like Arma 3 had pretty weird AI too, where like they would point the gun at you and then like walk out the door. And it's like, hold up,
Yeah.
AI aimbot.
Well, I think a lot of those though were mods. A lot of the Arma 3 things that you were playing, and the Arma has sliders for their AI. So you can host a game where the AI slider, I mean, you can choose their accuracy, their response time, all of that, their vision. So if you play on a server that has odd settings, then you're going to get odd results from your AI.
I don't know. I remember like me, you, and an acquaintance playing like maybe campaign or something like that, or maybe we just played versus bots. I don't remember. I don't remember
Yeah.
downloading any mods for it, even in game, or if
Yeah.
they had like a
Well,
mod host.
and that's another bonus of Arma is when you join a server, you download all your dependencies as you join the server.
Oh yeah.
So, but Armor Forger is great. Some of the mods that they have, oh my word, like full modern US military items and
Yeah.
sound mods and I mean you name it.
I remember trying to get you, excuse me, to apply for a job. I met this dude that comes up from like Kansas City or Salina about once a year to like teach army guys how to run like the vehicle convoy trainer, uh,
Arma 2.
which is based on Arma 2. Uh, Essentially the whole EST was Arma 2. Um, Not the EST itself, but like, gosh, what's the other program that like runs behind it? I don't know, another sim program. Either way, I knew it was Arma 2 because I spawned like a boat out of the sky on the guys once, and I was like, "Yep, it's definitely this is Arma."
Yeah, it's Arma 2. But
Zombies.
yeah, just DayZ port into the game.
Honestly, I spawned zombies. I don't remember that. Like they didn't have like a real animation or anything like zombie animation, but yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, I haven't really played much. I still haven't gotten back into Stalker, but they just had a major update. Um, haven't played Marvel Rivals, but people are saying that's getting better.
I want to play it more. Like, yeah, I haven't played it in a couple weeks. Honestly, I've been kind of investing in work and like other ventures
Yeah.
lately. Like production and stuff like that. Like I think I want to make a board game, with a couple buddies, and then or like some sort of tabletop game, and then yeah, just getting back home late from work, kind of putting time in the family.
Yeah. Yeah, work's been insane. I've had like meetings on my days off, call outs in the middle of the night. Like I'm just beat. We had a pretty bad bout of the flu in the house, and I thought I made it through, didn't get sick, and then the other night it was like 9 o'clock. I just started getting the chills, and we were out at this like
Oh, really?
event. Yeah. So I went home, went to bed at like 10 p.m., and I slept until 1 p.m. the next day.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I felt great.
The norovirus is out right now.
Yeah, that sucks, especially for young kids.
Yeah.
I had to take my kid to the hospital once
The Nora.
because of norovirus. I mean, she was throwing up every 20 minutes on the timer
Yeah.
and was like had blood eventually because she was just tearing up her throat. And I remember driving to the emergency room and there was like 50 freaking people in the lobby with like a
All with
cold.
Nora. Oh,
No, just like parents just bringing their kids to the I don't
yeah.
there was a demographic, but it was just like they weren't sick. Like they were all running around playing, wiping their snot on shit, and I'm like, I don't want to be around this. Like I was in fear because I've never seen her
Yeah.
be this sick, and she was maybe like 2 or 3. Um, I could barely check her in when the nurse was asking me like basic information, like name, date of birth, shit like that. My brain was just like blank because I was so tired and so worried. But she's like, it's okay. They put me in a back room. They're like, here, we have another lobby that you can
Away
sit
from
in.
the people with obesity.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that was $800. She got a vending machine Gatorade. I'm pretty sure I heard them buy the Gatorade from the vending machine, pour it into a cup this big, give it
Yeah.
to her. They probably kept the rest of the Gatorade, and we were in and out of there. It was like $860.
Nice.
I was like, thanks, Obama.
Thanks, guys. Yeah.
But yeah, sick kids, man. Gets you wound up.
Yeah, I hope we don't have to deal with any sick kids. Honestly, we made it through the winter well enough with like just normal, like no flus, no just like normal colds. So knock on wood, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I still haven't heard anything about this reinstatement if you didn't get your COVID shot or you're forced out or whatever. So I
Well,
don't know
I,
when
I
that'll
don't
come down the
think
pipeline.
I don't think like if you essentially I'm like 90% sure that if you ETS'd through their scare tactics that you're just screwed. It has to be for people that like for lack of better terms, held the line and got discharged.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll start with them and then move on.
Maybe. You don't want to come back anyway.
I'd come back if they gave me back pay and then I would ETS on the
And a
next one.
bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back pay and a bonus and then write out drills for
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't mind that as well. As for gaming, I really haven't been playing much. I played a game called Unholy, little weeb game that Nolan suggested to me. I know it's weird. It's anime girls, but like I enjoy it. It was a good game. It's way better than Hades. Like, oh yeah,
Slight
yeah,
animation.
yeah. Just the yeah. What's that? What are those called? Like not audiobook, visual novel
Yeah.
animation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Renpai.
yeah,
No, I watched
yeah.
you play it.
Yeah, I actually like I really do. I think it's better than Hades. I did not enjoy Hades, and I mean, I'm a huge ARPG fan.
Yeah.
So, an action roguelite. So, played a little bit of
Well,
Half Sword.
when's that supposed to be? When's the actual game coming out?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, because I've made it far enough in the demo that it's like it's only fun every now and then. Like it's fun to pick it up and then walk away. Uh
We only have a couple
oh yeah, I
days.
picked up Dungeon Clawler, Clawler.
Yeah,
That's fun. I like that.
that's fun.
It's fun, man.
It does not look fun.
It honestly is because like it's sort of mindless, and you can play it with just your keyboard. Like you don't have to. You just like sit back and, and zen out. I heard it's on mobile too.
So you
It
have one
definitely
free
looks like
hand.
like just mouse.
You got one hand that doesn't need to do anything else. You can just do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, just get to clawing,
Claw on the hog. Um,
basting.
yeah. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 comes out on I think the 4th.
Is that woke game?
No, it's the one that you said that you saw something on. There was a woke. Yeah, there's like a
Yeah,
gay scene or whatever.
yeah.
I still haven't seen anything on that, but I guess I'm not like, you know,
Well,
adding that to my search history.
if we could do some reaction content, then I'll show you the video. I watched a whole video of a VTuber talking about it.
About KCD.
About yeah.
Huh.
Now he got in a huge argument with the devs, everything. VTubers are a different breed, man. But like on my order of merit, I accept them before I accept like
Literally
furries.
accredited institution.
Yeah,
The moon is real.
yeah.
Alex Jones didn't say that. Yeah, I mean outside of that,
He
I don't
didn't.
I don't really have anything interesting. I've just been
No,
hanging on by a thread this week.
busy.
Just been that one thing that I have had since I've been sick, just 360 no scope ass blasting like once an hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I don't
Maybe
feel
you'll lose some
sick.
weight.
So that's supposed to mean.
No, what?
We are doing a work, uh, like whatever, Biggest Loser or whatever, like weight loss challenge.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we need to weigh in because that's coming up. But um, yeah, Brooke wants to do it. She's like, yeah, let's do it. And I was kind of pissed because I had dropped like 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And then they came out with the announcement or whatever, like, hey, we're doing this weight loss thing. I was like, literally, fuck you guys.
Yeah, I gotta gain weight now.
Yeah.
That's a
Well, and that's what he said too, because it's a coworker, and he's like,
weigh-in.
you got like 20 days. You can pack on weight. I'm like, absolutely, I can.
I would just go eat like a half pound of like gummy bears. Or the sugar-free ones, because like supposedly they just
Just anything with
run through
aspartame.
you.
Yeah.
And yeah, eat that and just add on that extra half pound. Or you actually just get a full pound, might as well.
Well, when I used to pack on weight, I would just do this sounds terrible, but I didn't mind it. I would just eat freaking bread and cottage cheese.
Cheese will do it, yeah.
Yeah, bread and cottage
Cheddar
cheese. I
cheese.
mean, you could, and it's high, like 4% cottage cheese,
My
very
wife,
fatty.
like, those like little cheese wheels, whatever, like the
Pinwheels?
little tiny, yeah. She bought Gouda ones.
Dude,
Dude,
Gouda.
I'm like a freaking goblin. I'll like it's like 10:30, 11 at night, and I'm like sneaking into the kitchen, like opening the drawer, like grabbing my cheese.
Dude, Gouda. I like I even like like pesto and Roma tomatoes, like the
Yeah.
sandwiches. Mm,
Hmm.
I like cheese, man. Although as I've gotten older, I've definitely become more lactose intolerant, and that might have something to do with genetics.
Yeah.
Because I was like one
And
of
I
the
think milk's different too now.
yeah, probably. I was like one of the only people in my family though that could have dairy,
Yeah.
but I like grew up drinking like a half gallon of milk in a day.
Is there any like fresh milk around you?
Yeah, like non-pasteurized
Yeah.
whole milk. Yeah, I'm sure I could go farmers market or whatever. Um, I don't know if I'm into that. Like we do whole milk here in
Mhm.
our house, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about
Unpasteurized.
yeah.
Yeah, supposedly there's a lot of like, oh, it's so good for you, but like, and then you go online and it's like that's a wives' tale, and it's hard to tell like what's misinformation and what isn't about it.
Yeah,
But
because you are avoiding the additives,
yeah,
but and I'm sure there are some natural like antibiotics and bacteria stuff. Like it, okay, I would do straight from the farm milk if I did the what's that like when you make it into yogurt?
like culture,
Like
like
there's the stuff like you can people are getting like heat pads. It was on Shark Tank once, but you can add like the bacteria to it. Like you can
okay,
buy a whole gallon of milk, add a bacteria packet,
yeah,
and then put one of those planter heating pads around it,
okay,
and it turns it into like a
yogurt,
yogurt or something. That I would
okay.
do, but
Doesn't like the Ninja Foodie do it for you or whatever? Like those air fryer looking things.
yeah, I'm not as bougie
Oh,
to
I don't have one, man. We talk about.
yeah. I've got an Insignia air fryer.
I don't even have an air fryer.
It's a good move. I haven't used it in a long time, but it is a good move.
I know. I want one. And Kristen, when she listens to this, she'll know that I want one. And I'm mad that we're not allowed to have things on the counter.
Yeah.
So
I had to swap out the coffee machine for an espresso machine, and then that lasted about a month, and no one touches the espresso machine. So I'm like, can I put the coffee machine back out here? Because I'd rather just make a pot of coffee.
yeah, she loves her espresso machine. Like actually, hers
Is it on the
failed.
counter?
Yeah, that's what I've been saying, man. Yeah. So that's what her shit can be on the counter. It's my shit that's not allowed on the counter.
It's like the bathroom. It's like the
Yeah,
bathroom sink.
for sure. Yeah, my toothbrush goes like on the she kicks it under, but
Yeah.
there's a backdrop, so it doesn't go that far, but it's still under, so she doesn't have to sit.
The bristles are just touching
Yeah.
some random pubes that landed over there.
I'm like, "Where's my toothbrush?" She's like, "It's in there with the toilet."
Yeah. So
It's
it's puddled in the overflow around the toilet.
right. I gave your toothbrush to the cat.
It wipes its ass with it.
Yeah. But she loves her espresso machine, and I like espresso, honestly.
Me too.
L lately, I've kicked coffee almost completely out of my diet, though. Um, so unless
Yeah, you went tea,
was
didn't
it
you?
yeah, I've been doing those, like, Lipton diet, like, the green teas or the cranberry green teas or whatever, the berry mixed berry, and, yeah, it honestly, it makes you pee a lot,
Well,
but,
tea and coffee are diuretics.
yeah, but, like, you're putting down, like, way more, like, fluid to get to, like, anywhere near the same amount of caffeine,
Yeah.
so but if we ever get sponsored by Grinds, those dudes that make those coffee pouches, then I'll get back into coffee.
I could use something
So
to get off this nicotine, I can tell you that.
sponsor me. Sponsor me, Grinds. It's the only sponsor I want, bro.
Black Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to tone it down on the nicotine for sure.
Nicotine. I actually had my first like work was pretty wild last week, and I had my first craving, and I haven't done Zen. Uh, I haven't done anything. I'm trying to think like the last thing I was chewing and smoking in 2019, and I think I've had like one cigarette since like surgery and like cancer and all that shit. But like
Since I fucked your throat hole.
fucking yeah, that's probably what made me not want cigarettes.
Yeah. Brooke will never let us live that down. First time she met you.
Just me looking like you don't always die from
From
tobacco.
tobacco. I mean, the more that I think about it and look back on it, how odd was that to be like the first the first
Yeah,
impression? Like, hey, let's go visit
welcome
my buddy. And she's like, okay. And we just pull up to a hospital.
hospital of all places. Yeah, she's like, what the ass? Yeah, I've since found like the picture, and yeah, maybe we can share a bit of it eventually. But it's so bad. I looked so bad, man. Honestly,
I don't know. I was rock hard the whole time I was there looking
I
at you.
I just don't understand why they didn't pull the plug.
You're like, go ahead, pull it. Like nothing happens. You're just still totally fine.
Yeah.
You're not on life
My
support,
wife
bro.
kept asking them to pull the plug.
She asked
She's
for
like,
extra pillows too while we were there.
um, he's in pain.
She's like, do you have a weighted pillow that I can just kind of,
Put over his face.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the whole Northern Lights thing that we saw here. I don't know where it is. But yeah, those were wild times.
Yeah.
We'll share that the same time we share your dropping of the bag in Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Or that old lady open mouth kissing your cheek.
Yeah. She didn't even have like her lips puckered. It was just this,
Yeah. Like
just slapping the side of my face.
fucking she could eat a peach with those fucking lips, man. Were we leaving the castle that day? Or were we
Yeah.
just getting there? I think we were leaving.
Yeah. Because I had a whole, she wouldn't let me leave without those like cranberries.
When she was only trying to sell you one or two and you bought her out.
I just wanted the brandy. I just wanted to buy the brandy. I said, how much will this get me?
Yeah.
And she's like, that's enough for my whole setup.
Yeah.
So she made me carry a cardboard box with like freaking berries. You remember that? We had to get on the bus and I had like
Yeah.
a box of berries and then a brandy. And I was squishing up the berries and putting it in the brandy.
I remember that being a pretty common theme there that we kept like accidentally overpaying for stuff and people were like, "You set me up for the year."
Yeah. I mean, I pulled out $200
Yeah.
and that covered excessive spending. Like the whole time we were
Yeah.
there. And yeah, I don't know.
I do remember like one of the Czech dudes like kind of talking some ish at one point, and like we were walking around like a downtown or something, and I was like, "How much does that apartment there cost?" Like knowing it didn't have AC or anything. And I was like, "Does it have like HVAC, like AC, heat?" And he's like, "Yeah, it has heat, probably not AC." And I asked him how much it cost, and I'm like, eventually I told him I was like, "What I pay for my mortgage, like I could buy
Block.
that whole apartment complex." And like Yeah, I think it humbled them just a little bit.
Yeah, like a beer there was like 35 cents.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember getting drunk multiple times and then just being like,
I'm I'm pretty sure I was drunk like the entire time.
$5. Like it's time to pay your bill. Yeah.
Well, we'll
Well,
definitely push out some videos in between the next podcast, I think.
I think we just make a playlist. Make a playlist and let's make a Discord and then do some React content.
I'm down.
Just go watch furry videos.
I'm so done, dude.
Watch that was that 40K where the Crusaders kill all the furries.
Yeah.
Brother. But yeah, GG man. Thanks for meeting up.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure that you're subscribed. If we do start pushing out other videos, it'll be in between the podcast, Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. So you'll want to get notifications for that. And I'm assuming we'll do some type of community post. We're on Instagram, Twitter, or X, I guess, and then we'll put something out on YouTube to a link if we come up with a Discord. So see you next time.